Why is it so hard being an actor? Well, because in the end, if you don't do a great job, you won't hear what a terrible directing this guy did, because you can tell the actors, they're all bad. No, what you're gonna hear is this guy, terrible. This gal, terrible. Maybe you were on that day. Happens to the best of us. Also happens that, yeah, you didn't know how to navigate the either lack of preparation or competence or talent of the director, for example, or you and your director just didn't communicate in a way that made you feel you were working together, and that creates some stress, some bad stress that can show in a performance. So how does an actor, especially a young actor, someone who hasn't been doing this for very long, how do you make sure that your career doesn't get impacted in a negative way when you don't work in the best of conditions, which is often the case when you're starting? You're working with film students on short films, with newer directors. How do you develop your craft enough so that you can be independent, find your way through not the best of conditions? Well, interesting topic, isn't it? I gave a few tips about that in a previous video, but I want to go a little deeper and a little different with this one. And I'm going to try to be quick because I'm losing light here. I like natural light a lot, but this is golden hour. It's about, the sun is about to go down and you won't be able to see my face. What a shame. First off, try to always have some very clear objective, very clear intent as a character in your mind. You will probably or possibly need to translate either what a director says to you, that might be too psychological, or your own psychological, how to say that, psychological babble that you came up with when you were learning your script and you were scared of not having enough ideas or stuff like that. Clear intent. What do you do as a character? You know, a character will, for example, grill someone to know what they're hiding. Okay, but maybe that's a little surface level and you cannot connect to the material with that kind of self-direction or direction that you might have received. You don't connect to the material in the best ways with that in mind, possibly. And it's quite likely. So your character is grilling another character for information. Okay, what is it then? Maybe something that's an intent that's very clear to you could be, I want to show the other character in the room that I am tougher than this one who humiliated me before. Could be this, maybe it speaks to you, or it's just, I want to get this over with because my significant other is very, very sick with something very serious. I want to be with them at all times because maybe we don't have much time left together. Something very clear that goes beyond the surface level and that is very clear emotionally to you. Also, know your lines. I know, crazy, right? Know your lines. Know your lines, and if you can, if you have time, if your memory allows that to you, know other people's lines too. Because that way you don't feel like you have a level of comfort and relaxation coming from that comfort that will be far superior than if you were clunky on that subject. So yeah, know your lines. And I talked a little bit about how to learn about what not to do when learning your lines in another video. I'll put the link in the description. And always make sure that you, actor, you have an internal dialogue that uses positive words. Because if you use negative words, and it happens a lot with really young directors, they don't know jack shit about how to talk to actors, and they will tell you, oh yeah, don't do it like that. They will comment negatively on what you previously did, and they will be like, hey, don't do that, it was too much, it was not enough, go more like this, because when you do that it doesn't work. They will, what you're going to hear, what's going to be very ever present in your head for the following take will be all that you're supposed not to do. Your brain, your focus will be on that, and you will probably end up in some middle ground between what you should do and what you were told not to do. So, not good, and maybe even worse, you're going to do pretty much exactly what the guy or the gal told you not to be doing. So you need to translate, always the same, either something that someone's telling you or what you've been telling yourself into positive words. You know, you cannot play less fast. The word you hear is fast, the core idea. You can play smoother, you can play relaxed, you can play slow and tired, you can play done with it. So that is very important. Example I always use is because of the way the human brain works. If I tell you, okay, we're going to do this little, you know what? We're going to do this little exercise right now. Right now, you and me in front of your screen and me here. I'm going to count to 3. And then I'm going to tell you a very short, easy, simple direction, and you're going to do that where you are right now. Okay, so you're ready. It's a simple direction. Just take it and run with it. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Do not think of the word elephant. And okay, so now that we're done, whoever had an elephant, either the word or the animal, pictured in their head, when I say that, lost. So you all lost. The core idea is elephant. What am I supposed to do with it? Not think of it. Uh-oh. Same thing when you receive some negative direction. Don't do this, not as much this, not as much that. It doesn't get your creative flow going. It's really working on having you fail. Of course, people don't realize they're doing that. So those things are very important. Keep those in mind, and these few little tricks, especially young actors, will help you not fall in some traps that in the end would have people say, oh, this one actor, nah, not great. So yeah, and if you want more deeper work, to work on your craft, to if you feel like you have something in the tank that you cannot deliver yet, or you want to work on specific things, I'm an actor, director, writer. I teach people. I've been doing that. I have 2 decades of experience as a filmmaker, and a little more than 1 decade as a coach and teacher. So hit me up. There's going to be some links and everything. And we'll gladly talk about that, because what I think is very important, and what I can do, thanks to my experience, is to help people find their voices and express their voices, because we live in a world that's interconnected. We need artists, we need new voices, we need people to help us find our truths through their own truths, their art. So you believe in yourselves, you keep telling your truths, and see you next time.